We were successful in Ecuador. It happened that the president who was elected a few months before I arrived in 1960 would not even discuss or think about breaking off with Cuba. And so we undertook a whole series of operations to make it impossible for him to govern by our support and our activities through the right-wing political parties, his political opposition. Eventually, the military stepped in, forced him out. This is November of 1961, just a year after I got there. Forced this president out, his name was Velasco, and the vice president, Arosemena, took over. Arosemena, the same thing, refused to even consider breaking with Cuba. And so what we did in early 1962, seeing that situation, we organized a whole series of bombings of Catholic churches throughout the country through the political opposition, that is, the right-wing political parties. And these bombs did not cause very much damage. They were noise bombs, but they were great for headlines and for then stimulating huge demonstrations. What we did was we left behind flyers and leaflets and inflammatory propaganda attributed to the most important youth organization, the national youth organization that supported the Cuban Revolution. It was called the Revolutionary Union of Ecuadorian Youth. We wrote these leaflets in our office, and they were printed on our clandestine printing plant. But we even used the print shop symbol of the print shop of the Communist Party of Ecuador. And so they were authentic looking, and these would be left behind in the churches at the bombings, and the message was, down with the Catholic Church and up with the Cuban Revolution. And they didn't all happen at once. There would be one week and one another, and we would then finance, after each one of these bombings, we would finance buses and trucks that would go out and get thousands of campesinos from the countryside and bring them in, feed them, and make this big feria, where there would be political speeches and all that, in support, in solidarity with the Catholic Church and denouncing the Cuban Revolution. Well, this went from city to city over the weeks, and by March of 1962, it culminated with the bombing of the Cardinals' residence in Quito, the capital city. This also stimulated a huge, massive, maybe 50,000 people demonstration in the capital city in solidarity with the Cardinal, because these communists had tried to kill him or to assassinate him. Well, what we knew would happen, did happen. The most important military garrison in the country, in Cuenca, revolted. And they gave the president 72 hours to break diplomatic relations with Cuba, diplomatic and commercial relations with Cuba. The president preferred the luxury of the presidential palace to exile in Panama, which we thought would be the case, and broke with Cuba.